Andrew Foster, a.k.a. Rube, the genius. Rube Foster, without question, the greatest baseball mind this sport has ever seen, and virtually no one knows anything about him, even though he is rightfully enshrined in the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Rube Foster is that rare baseball personality that would have checked all three boxes in terms of Hall of Fame credential. Oh yeah, he would have gone in the Hall of Fame as a pitcher, as a manager, and as an executive. But Foster was best known as this visionary, this tremendous leader. He would organize the Negro Leagues in a meeting held in Kansas City, Missouri at the Paseo YMCA on February 13, 1920. He would rally 8 independent black baseball team owners together, and somehow or another he convinced them that in order for black baseball to succeed, they needed an organized body. Rube would become president of the Negro Leagues. Rube Foster arguably is the most influential person in baseball history, simply for what he did in forming the Negro Leagues.
And now the shortstop, Perry. And a pitch. And that is in for a strike. And away we go this afternoon. And it stays fair.
Didn't exactly square that one up, but sometimes you don't have to. He probably would have been able to drive that pitch on the outside if he let it just get a little deeper and look to hit it to the opposite field, but he made it work out.
Swing and a miss. And it's a ball and a strike. Seeing Rube Foster, he was such a mastermind both on and off the field. He reportedly was running a baseball team while he was still in grade school. So that gives you some idea of his drive. Spoils that one, and it remains 2-2. That's inside.
Well, Boog, he had that kind of strict, intense upbringing with his dad, a presiding elder in their church. Really instilled a sense of discipline and purpose into Rube, and that translated into how he ran his teams.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. Here's the catcher, Ford. First pitch doesn't find the zone.
Rube really did have a serious focus on fundamentals and organization, presenting that professional front, and that's one thing he's remembered for.
That's out number 3. Back here at Southside Park, here's the second baseman, Jackson. And that's in there at the knees. Going back to that professionalism for Rube, one player talked about how his Giants teams would have really well-made uniforms. That made them look more like a National League or American League team than one that was going barnstorming. Going to count 1-2. Next pitch is outside.
You know, Boog, Rube Foster wasn't the tallest guy at 5'9", but at 230 pounds, he still looked plenty intimidating out there on the mound.
Yeah, you're dead on, Singy. Rube was a guy who really commanded respect.
And he got it. He called his own pitches from the mound. His catchers knew better than to argue with him, so that tells you a lot.
Swings through it, and that's a strikeout. And now the right fielder, Bradley. And that's outside.
You know, Rube had such a strict hold on the players on his team and sometimes on other teams. When he ran the Negro National League, there were rumors that he'd call all the pitches even when Chicago wasn't playing.
Swing and a bouncer. Slings to first. 2 up, 2 down. You know, Singy, sometimes I'd like to call pitches from up here, you know, just to keep the game moving along.
I hear you, partner, especially when we've got some really good dinner reservations.
Foster winds and fires. Swing and a miss. And it's 0-2. And a swing and a miss. And that's that. And welcome back. Top half of the third inning, and stepping in is the speedy Sutton. And first offering is fouled off. Foster comes to the plate. Swing and a miss. And it's 0-2. Not close with that one. And the count 1-2. The next offering misses. And it's 2-2.
2 strikes.
Next offering is fouled back. Sutton started after it, tried to hold up. Now a look to first, and that's ruled a swing. It's a strikeout. Here's the center fielder, Newman. And first offering is fouled off. And the right-hander deals. On the ground to third. Hayes, jump throw. That's a very athletic play. And the first pitch misses for ball 1. And it's 1-1.
I got 1 ball, 1 strike.
The 1-1. And a foul ball. Next one just misses. Ball 2. Next one misses, and it's 3-2. And he walked him.
That's ball 4. Take your base.
So the batting order turns over. Perry digs in now. And a good eye there. Next offering is fouled back. Next pitch misses inside, and it's 2-2. Struck him out swinging. Had him way out front of the slur.
Rube Foster is believed to have created what we now know to be the screwball. Back then it was called a fadeaway, and Rube perfected this pitch. So much so that the great Major League manager John McGraw would sneak Rube into his camp so that Rube Foster could teach Christy Mathewson how to throw the screwball. Christy Mathewson threw the pitch all the way into the National Baseball Hall of Fame that he learned from Rube Foster.
Now at the plate, Harvey. The Y to kick the pitch. That misses the zone, and we're underway. Swings through that one.
A ball, 1 strike.
Luke behind second. Nice grab. The fadeaway, more popularly associated with Christy Mathewson, but today we get to see Rube Foster, the man who taught it to Matty. Rolled softly, but that goes foul. Chris, the fadeaway or screwball seems to be tough for batters to pick up. Why is that?
Well, for one thing, Boog, you just don't see it very often. And yeah, Rube was a master of it, but not a lot of pitchers throw a screwball these days, so you don't get much practice with it.
And now Reese. And he swings and misses at the initial offering. Of course, the screwball became very popular after Rube's playing career, but it's way less common now. Still, some modern pitchers like Fernando Valenzuela got great results from it. Next offering is in for a strike.
Man, Rube's fadeaway is exactly how you want to throw a screwball. It's so slow. It's tempting for a hitter, but it's also so hard to time up and make good contact on.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And good work there as he gets a 1-2-3. Welcome back to the batter now, Bell. Foster back to work. Foster winds and fires.
0-1.
Foster comes to the plate. And now 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Right-hander kick steals. Tapped out in front of the plate. Sends it to first. Leadoff man retired here in the second. Breaking ball through there for a strike. Next pitch downstairs. Ball 1. One down, base is empty. And another ball.
Well, this is a good time to step out of the box, take a deep breath, reset. A couple of change-ups. Probably won't see another one here.
The 2-2. That's to third. And it gets by him.
Showed a lot of fight with 2 strikes in that AB. Just found a way to slap that ball down the third baseline. That's really excellent bat control. And it kind of goes back to all those drills you see hitters do off the tee where it's placed in different spots. That was just nice.
The throw to second, not in time at first. It's a fielder's choice. Hunter at the plate with 2 away. Swings through that one. Comes up empty on the swing. 0-2 now. Next pitch is downstairs. Got him. Foster gets the strikeout with that legendary fadeaway.
He earned his nickname Rube as a youngster there from Calvert, Texas, when he beat the great major leaguer Rube Waddell in a head-to-head matchup, and the nickname stuck. He also had the full repertoire to go along with this unique pitch that he created called back then a fadeaway. And so, yeah, Rube doesn't get nearly enough credit for having been one of the most dominant pitchers in black baseball history.
And now, Terry. The pitch. Swing and a miss. And we are underway. Swings through that.
Well, he's been aggressive right out of the box, and a smart pitcher is going to play off of that, especially when you get to 2 strikes.
And Rube sets him down for the K. Cole getting ready to hit. First pitch just misses. Most of Rube Foster's career was with the Chicago American Giants, but he was a dominant force on the mound even before that. Foster winds and fires. In 1903, Rube pitched 4 games for the Cuban ex-Giants against the Philadelphia Giants in a championship series. He went 4-0, all complete games, and gave up just 3 earned runs. Digging in, Gordon. Right side. Tosses to first, and that is that. Back here at the ballpark, and here's the first baseman, Parker. There's the strike.
Boog, Rube was so good in that series that you mentioned that Philly went out and signed him for the next season, and he led them to a championship in the rematch.
That's right, including an 18 strikeout performance in Game 1. What a pitcher. Tosses across to first. One out in the second. Soft contact in the air. Fair ball.
Well, that's one of those knocks where you almost expect to get some jabs from your teammates when you get back to the dugout. Really not a pitch you want to swing at if you don't have to, because it's almost impossible to hit anything that far inside with any type of authority. That one tied him up, but still able to guide it into the outfield somehow.
A lot of folks who faced Rube Foster came away impressed. Rogers Hornsby, one of the greatest hitters ever, said Rube was the smoothest pitcher he'd ever seen. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. Had him way out front of the slur. And now the catcher comes up to hit. Everett. And that's outside. Another great player, Jake Stahl. He won the National League home run title in 1910. He got absolutely dominated by Rube in a barnstorming matchup.
Yeah, Boog. Rube just kept striking him out. Stahl said he couldn't even get within speaking distance of Rube's curveball.
The next pitch misses. And that's ball 2.
You know, Boog, Rube wasn't the only great pitcher in his family. His half-brother Bill was a terrific left-handed pitcher in the Negro Leagues who was inducted into Cooperstown in 1996.
Foul ball, and it remains a full count. The 3-2 is off the outside edge. Now it's the right fielder, Terry. The pitch. Swing and a miss. And that's how this game gets started. Comes up empty. That's strike 2. Keeps the at-bat going with a foul ball. Next one is off the plate. Now 1-2. Next offering misses. 2-2. Foster comes to the plate. And it's filled up. And Rube sets him down for the K. So up next, Cole. Foul ball there. Foster winds and fires. Hard on the ground to first. And he takes it himself for the out. Chopped out in front of the plate. Over to first. And that's the third out. Back here at Southside Park. Second inning set to go. Now here is Parker. In for a strike. 0-1. Foster making them look silly out there. Rube with another strikeout. Next to hit, Floyd. And that is cut on and missed. That's strike 1. Next offering is in the dirt. Swing and a ball popped up. Nice grab on the run. And there are 2 outs. On the ground to the left. And that's just foul. Pitch misses there. And now it's even 1-1. Edge of the zone for a strike. 1-2. Kicks and deals. Pitch misses. It's 2-2. Swing and a miss, and he struck him out. And good work there as he gets a 1-2-3. Back now at Southside Park. All set for the start of the inning. And here's the catcher, Everett. Foster back to work.
You know, this group of hitters, as you probably noticed, haven't been shy at the plate at all. In fact, they've probably been too aggressive at times. I'm specifically talking about the first pitch. These guys are swinging more than 80% of the time, which is fine if you're scoring runs, but that hasn't been the case today.
Some heat there at 98 miles an hour. Stepping in, Adams. He swings and misses at the first pitch, 0-1. 0-2 as he waves at that one. Fouls it back with 2 strikes. And the 0-2 from Foster. Gets a piece and stays alive. Next pitch is outside. And the count 1-2. Started to go after it. Now a look down to first. He did not go around. That one drifts inside. In the air, right field. Smith on the move to his left. No trouble here. Puts it away for the out. And there are 2 down. Raymond, the next to hit, takes ball 1.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Next pitch is inside, 2-2. Popped up, Murray under it, and makes the grab. And that is that. Ready now for the 5th inning. Now the left fielder, Harvey.
Now, this is a pretty incredible stat. In 1905, Rube Foster pitched in 55 games. He won 51 of them.
That's in there. And that is strike 1.
Can you imagine that kind of dominance, Boog? 51 wins in 55 games?
Yeah, and Rube said that he was doing pretty well. I think any pitcher would take that as long as their arm didn't fall off. Marshall, batting with 1 down, takes a strike. That just misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
1-1.
Popped up right side. Bates puts it away for the out. And there's 2 down. Chris, you were talking last inning about how Rube threw in 55 games in 1905. So different in today's game when a starting pitcher can lead the league with about 33 starts.
And Boog, what makes it even more amazing is that back then, starters were expected to throw a complete game pretty much every time out. Teams didn't have a lot of relievers like they do in the modern game, so 55 starts then is more like 80 or even 100 today.
Foster comes to the plate. And now 2-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And good work there as he gets a 1-2-3. Welcome back. All set for the top of the 6th. And now the right fielder, Bell. And first offering is fouled off. Swings and misses. And that is strike 2. Swings through that, and it's a strikeout. And that's the first out. Now it's going to be Taylor. Little chopper rolls foul. Swing and a miss.
No balls,
No balls,
two
two strikes. Foul ball, still 0-2. Fights that one away, and the count remains 0-2. On the ground, right side. Tosses to first. 2 quick outs to open the top of the 6th. And a foul ball.
When a guy's throwing a lot of first pitch strikes as a hitter, you got to be ready to hit. Now, that's not going to help you get deep into his pitch count and into the bullpen, but you got to take what he's offering that day.
No.
It's a good take.
Ball. Down.
And now it's filled up. The 3-2 is off the outside edge, and that is ball 4. Hunter now at the plate as he swings through strike 1. Next offering is fouled back. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Couldn't hit the fastball at the knees.
Rube Foster owned the Chicago American Giants, and he managed the Chicago American Giants. And his savviness, his craftiness, his astuteness of the game allowed him and his teams to dominate the early era of black baseball. Rube assembled some of the greatest talent in black baseball history for his teams, where he served as both player and manager. He knew great talent. He knew how to go out and recruit great talent and build the kind of chemistry with that great talent of stars, thoroughbreds, who could flat out get the job done.
RBI opportunity here as Foster steps in. That's a base hit, run scores. With the tying run in scoring position in the bottom of the 9th, Perry will hit next. 0-1. And now it's even up. The 1-1 is fouled off. Swings and misses, struck him out. The high heat, too much on that one. Now, Sanders. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. The tying run is 90 feet away. Foul ball, it stays 0-2. Lifted in the air down the left side. Murray on his way over. Makes the grab. The American Giants just 1 out away from the pennant. That's a strike, and it's 0-1.
0-1's the count.
One out to right. Tries to make the play, but it's foul. Foster looking for that final strike. Ball game. The Chicago American Giants take the pennant.
As a manager, Rube Foster was known to fine his ball players as much as $5 at the turn of the early 1900s if you were tagged out standing up. You were supposed to slide. Rube would draw a circle down the first base line and a circle down the third base line. And if every one of his players couldn't drop a bunt inside the circle, Rube would fine them. Oh, you were going to see great baseball. Oh, but yeah, you were going to be thoroughly entertained watching Rube Foster's brand of baseball.
Here's the left fielder, Glass. Move to first, and he's back in on a dive. Another throw over, and he's back in that time as well. Again to first, and again he's back safely. Pickoff throw once again, and he's safe again. Uncle. Kicks and fires. Now Foster's on the move. Pitch outside. Throw is low, and he can't pick it.
Rube Foster was adamant about the style of play that would become signature Negro Leagues baseball. Fast, aggressive, daring. They would bump their way on. They would steal second. They would steal third. And if you weren't too smart, they were stealing home. And this was a brand of baseball that was drawing both black and white fans who were sitting side by side, where during that era of segregation, that was virtually unheard of. Yeah, now Rube was light years ahead of his time.
And here's the first baseman, Rube Foster. The pitch. Ripped to short, snagged on a bounce. Gathers and throws. One gone, bottom half of the first. First offering misses the mark. Rube Foster was such a competitor, he'd do anything to win, including freezing baseballs before games to deaden them.
And Boog, Rube didn't stop there. He turned the field into an advantage as well. He had the groundskeepers soak the dirt so his hitters could bunt for hits, and they even tilted the ground near the foul line so the ball would stay fair.
Hard hit, left field, base hit. Lead runner to second, so 2 on and nobody out.
Everything came together perfectly for him right there. Nice line drive to the pull side right there, but he didn't spin off of it. That's the key. You still have to extend through the baseball in order to hit a line drive like that.
Line drive. Sanders makes the play, and it's out number 3. Misses off the plate. 1-0. Next offering is downstairs. Righty delivers. Swing and a ball hit out towards left center field. Makes the grab. 2 down. Bottom of the first, and now the first baseman, Rube Foster. The wind and the pitch. Ball 1 there. Next offering is fouled back. The 1-1. In the air to left center. Newman ranges to his right. He gets there to make the play. A nice running grab. And there's one down. And a pitch. Line drive. Oh, he gloves it. Ground ball left side. Goes to second for one, and that's two. And he swings and misses, and it's 0-1. Ripped to third and caught. Throw not in time as he's able to get back to avoid the double play. And here's the first baseman, Rube Foster. The pitch. This one smoked out to left. Drops into the glove. One down. He swings and fouls one off. Swing and a line drive, base hit out of the center field. And that extends the inning.
He was all over that one. That's about as textbook as it gets. Got his stride and load out of the way early. He stayed inside that ball and squared it up out front. Man, that was like he was in the cage hitting off a tee.
And a pitch. Swings and misses. And the count 1-1. The 1-1 is fouled off. Next offering is fouled back. Here comes a pitch. It's softly on the ground left side. On to first.
He's out.
He's out. And first offering is fouled off. And he's down 0-2 as he swings through it. Wouldn't chase that time. The 1-2. Cut on and miss. Struck him out. Good job at damage control right there. Rube Foster digging in now. Swings through that one. 0-1. The next offering misses. And that is ball one. Here's a 1-1. He swings and hits a fly ball. Center field. Newman squeezes it, and that'll do it. We go to the bottom of the first, and now the first baseman, Rube Foster. The wind of the pitch. Swing and a ball popped up. Fair ball. Takes the turn. He's digging for second. The throw in. Not in time. It's a double.
Well, those kind of lucky soft hits will always make you smile. When you pop a ball up like that, you don't expect it to get you a knock too often. But right there, somehow he got it to drop in behind first base, and that's where no one could get to it.
And it's into the gap. Now he turns and heads for second. Not stopping. He's going for three. Perry with a relay throw, and he's out.
The Negro Leagues were born out of segregation, and there was a simple mindset behind it. You won't let me play with you in the major leagues, then I'll create my own league. And Rube essentially did what others had attempted to do, but they had failed. But Rube had the wherewithal to get it done. And how he convinced those other 8 independent black baseball team owners to come together is a true testament to Rube's ability to sell this vision. And that's exactly what they did, having established the Negro National League, the first successful organized black baseball league. Rube Foster stood there and boldly proclaimed, "We are the ship, all else the sea." He was serving notice to Major League Baseball that a new player had arrived on the scene to be reckoned with. That's why I say that Rube Foster is without question the most influential person in baseball history.